Hello, everyone. My name is Dusty, and this is the 321 Report, episode 22. I can't believe I've done 22 of these already, plus a couple of extras. I'm glad you all have came to spend the evening with me. I hope that I am heard and seen. Can y'all hear me and see me? I don't see any comments like, hey, you're no sound or whatever. So, yeah, I'm good. If not, I think my phone will start blowing up or my wife will be banging on the door. So, I think we're good. So, I might have been on just a tad late because I was actually trying to call people. And I have a recording of the people I tried to call, and I was trying to get it done, but I couldn't get it done. I'd rather come and visit with you guys for a while. So I will post it after this, but it's pretty interesting. I did try to call one of the people, two people that are involved in the Morphew case. Actually, I tried to call three. And I tried to call someone in Delphi. So I actually sent some messages too. So we'll see if anybody is brave enough to call me back. So, all right. So I got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. A lot of exciting updates. Not that exciting, but exciting in my world. So I will start with this right here. I got so many pictures. Remember I talked about this guy the other day? Cody Lambert? Well, he was arrested on Saturday. He is, to refresh your memory, Cody is one of Barry's ex-workers or current workers, I don't know. But he was in jail. I did go watch his court hearing, or listen to it, I should say. But when I tried to record it, it wasn't working real good. And all he said, to be honest with you, all he said was, okay, sweet. Okay, sweet, to the judge. So I do have his charges, though. He's got a theft charge. And I was talking to someone that I talk to on a regular basis about these cases. And this person pointed out that his theft charge came around the same time that Jeff Puckett, if y'all don't remember who Jeff Puckett is, Jeff Puckett was another one of Barry's workers. Man, I really wish I had that video of Jeff Puckett. I might. Yeah, I might have it somewhere, but I couldn't understand a word he said on his interview with Lauren Sharf. And I didn't read I guess I did understand a word because I remember him saying that it's either foul play. He was talking about Suzanne going missing. He said, it's either foul play or aliens got her. And he said, kind of far-fetched that aliens would get her. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, it is kind of far-fetched there, Puckett. So anyway, his Dodge Durango got stolen around that same time. And the reason I know that is because I was looking at Cassidy Cordova's Facebook, and in a comment, Jeff Puckett said, anybody seen my Durango? It got stolen. So it was around the same time. But Cody's charge probably isn't for that because it was between $300 and $750 of theft. That's what the value was of whatever he stole. So unless that's a crappy Dodge Durango, that probably wasn't what got stolen. So who knows though, maybe. But anyway, that was interesting. I think the other one was failure to appear. He failed to appear on the charge of theft. in August. So they put out a warrant for him. And then there was a bench warrant in like October, and then a bench warrant in, I believe, December. And it is March, and he's finally turned himself in. So, but guess what? He's out on bail. So, yeah, anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to keep following it, but you can go watch that. I saw several people on there. There was one, I'm not going to mention her name, but the judge did. The judge, she forgot to mute her mic, this person, and she was eating in the microphone, and the judge like called her out on it. Man, I was cracking up. Y'all would probably know the name if I said it, but I ain't going to say it. I don't want to embarrass nobody. So I forgot to write how many subscribers. It says 12 because I erased the two other numbers, because it said 1236, I believe, for the last show, and we're up to like 1270 something. So we're growing. I really appreciate y'all. It's really fun to watch those numbers go up and see all the reaction to all these videos. And speaking of reactions, I know I mentioned this in my weekend rundown, but in case you missed that, I mentioned how much I appreciate all the comments about the interview I did with Charlene and the videos of her girls. They really enjoyed doing that. I think it was really therapeutic for them to talk about their grief and talk about losing their brother and their son and her son. So, yeah, thank you all who participated, and all you who wrote the nice messages. And I also got some messages from a lot of you who have been through similar tragedies, and my heart really goes out to y'all. I can't imagine going through something like that. I talked to Tiffany about this, and she said I would probably wait for more info, and she's probably right. But I mean, I need to at least mention it, I think. So let me see if I have a couple of pictures. But I mentioned this in the description of this live, and there was a tragedy that happened over the last couple of days, and it involved a person that is in the true crime community that I have talked to. And I mean, I don't know what happened. It doesn't make sense to me, because from what I know of this person, she would never do something like this. But yeah, it's kind of really confusing, and it's really super, super sad. So what I'm referring to is this. Hold on a second. So her name is Allison Jones, and unfortunately, she has been arrested for the murder of her 7-year-old son. And I've been going through her Facebook, because we're Facebook friends, and it just doesn't make any sense to me that this happened. And I hope that something different is going on, but I'm going to upload a couple of pictures. Man, this is just so tragic. I can't imagine something like this happening. But I've been researching this, and her and her husband had been trying to have a child for like 2 years before she got pregnant with her son. Her son's name is Maddox. Sorry. And that's her and him. And I'm sorry, but it's just really like unfathomable that this was going on. And I'm going to let it play out, because it just isn't. This isn't in her character. That I don't know her that well, but from what I see, from what I'm looking at here, and when I've talked to her and stuff, it just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, because it's a tragedy, but it's also hits really, really close to the true crime community. I know a lot of you that watch these videos know her and know her personally. So I'm sorry. And hopefully the truth will come out, and hopefully it was some sort of terrible accident or something. So, all right. So let's move on from that. Didn't mean to bring the show down, but I just needed to talk about that. So, let me grab my notes. Let's see. So I got sidetracked there for a minute. So I also posted a video, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. It's who is Shoshona. That's how you pronounce her name, and I'll tell you how I know that. I tried to call her, and I got her voicemail, and that's how she pronounces her name, so Shoshona. So I tried to call her tonight. I told her exactly who I was. Well, I didn't tell her on the voicemail, but I told her in a text message right after that who I was and what I wanted to talk about. And I said I was giving her a platform to set the record straight if she wanted to do that. I haven't heard back from her yet, and I'm not counting on hearing back from her. I hope I do, because that'd be a pretty good interview to ask her about her relationship with Barry and how long she's known the Morphews, stuff like that. There's a lot of questions I'd like to ask her. I've been pretty fair with her, and I would continue to do that, because I've seen that some people that I trust say they have seen certain photos of, her and Barry together or whatnot, but I haven't seen any of that. So I'm just going to continue to be neutral on that part of the story anyways. But yeah, if you're watching this, Shoshona, I will be fair to you if you want to do an interview on this channel. So, and I will ask you hard questions, but it shouldn't be hard to answer them if you tell the truth. All right. So I have been deep diving for months. Even when Tyson and I went out to Delphi, I was trying to put together a profile of what I think that the guy that killed Abby and Libby, what I think he is like, what his background is, what his demographics are, whatever you want to call it. But I've been putting together something for a long time, and I've looked at a lot of the suspects, and I'll show you a few of them. There's been a lot of people come out. This guy's name is Daniel Nations. This guy might be a real bad guy, but I don't think that he's the one that did this. I could be wrong, though. He's from Indiana, but he was caught in Denver doing some bad stuff. They brought him back to Indiana, I believe, and interviewed him somewhere, but I don't think that's him. Now, this guy, it looked like this guy's name is Charles Eldridge. Whoops. I mean, it looks like they sat down and looked at his picture and drew that picture of that guy. At least to me, it does. Well, he was a sex offender and some other things, but apparently he's not the guy. So there's this guy, Paul Etter. I mean, come on, he doesn't even have hair. And that guy's got a big old head of hair. But anyway, what happened with Paul Etters, one of those. Gray Hughes will probably correct me if I say it wrong if he watches this. I really doubt he's watching mine. But reason I said that, because Gray Hughes is really dove into this super hard. So kudos to you. But anyway, so this guy, Paul Etters, whatever. This guy right here, he's dead. He killed himself. The reason he killed himself is because what happened with him is he kidnapped a lady, and he did some things he shouldn't have done, and then he let her go. And then the cops were after him, and they got him cornered, and he killed himself. So that does not sound anything like the MO of the guy who was responsible for the death of Abby and Libby. I mean, the lady was an older, she was not a child, for one. I mean, a person that would do that to two kids is not going to let somebody go, second of all. So this just doesn't fit. So, and there's been many more. There's been a guy, let me see if I got any more in here. Oh, yeah, there is one that's interesting. This guy. So this picture on the right over here, that's what somebody came up with as a profile. And then you look over at, this is Tobe Lesenby. He's a sheriff up in Chaffee County. I don't really think he did this, but he admitted with his own mouth that he was a suspect at one time. I mean, I watched the video of him saying that, and I can see why. That picture looks exactly like him. That's funny. So this is the guy they're looking for. I mean, that's pretty, that could be anybody. I know at times we've talked about it could be Barry, Morphew, this and that, could be this guy, but I'm gonna share with you what I got. Okay. Well, first of all, there's this awesome video. If I can find the link, I'll post it. But this guy named Photoshop something. I'll think of it in a minute. Photoshop. I don't remember. But he took that sketch, this sketch, and he turned it into a real person. This guy. I will show you my version of this because I did some work on this picture to fit on who I think it is or what I think he would look like now. He might have looked like that then, but there's been, first of all, you know what, to start this off, I'm going to play the press conference, the first press conference. No, actually the one from April 22nd. I'm going to play that one. And the one from April 22nd, 2019, let me get this guy off here. Okay. So there was a press conference in Delphi, Indiana on April 22nd, 2019. The reason they had that press conference is because they came up with that new sketch. The younger looking sketch is the new one. The older looking sketch is the first one they come out with. But they also wanted to release a video of the bridge guy, like him walking on the bridge. And he said one extra word besides down the hill. He said, guys, down the hill. So I'm going to play that press conference because Doug Carter, the superintendent of the Indiana State Police, he's the guy doing the interview, or not the interview, the press conference. And it's really interesting, some of the things he says. And it ties into my profile of this guy. So that's why I want to play it. So I'm going to pull it up real quick. Man, I just heard somebody's motorcycle whiz by. So I know I had this ready to go. This happens almost every time. I have something ready to go and then I can't find it. Dude. Oh, I know where it is. See, that's what happens when I put stuff in folders and I forget that I put them in folders labeled. All right, I'm going to share it now. Video file. I could sing the Jeopardy song while I'm getting ready.
He has taken the stand. We'll take a listen in.
Let me know if you can't hear it.
To the Delphi community, how grateful I am. You inspire people that you don't even understand, and you don't even understand why. Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago, and you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family of these two little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building.
Okay. I'm going to comment on as we go. I think that because I want to remember all this stuff, so I don't want to forget. So I'm going to mention it as we go. I think that this car is one of the keys to breaking this case. I think that's why they mention it first. And I've also, during my research, I've came across a few things that tell me that this is one of the things that they really need help with. Anyway, so I think it's key. I've heard there's different stories on what kind of a car it is. It was a little white car, as far as I know. I heard it was like a Dodge Neon at one point. I heard it was like a Honda Civic at one point. I heard it had temporary tags at one point. I don't know. But I do know that they're looking for that car, and I think it's key. So,
in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North, next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway, between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City Building. We are releasing additional portions of the audio recording from that day. Please keep in mind, the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. This is not two different people speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room.
okay. I've went over and over and over in my head why you would think that guy's in that room. And if he thinks that, I think, this is my personal opinion, And I think he knows exactly who this guy is. He just can't prove it. And he might see him. Look at Tobe. He's staring at the guy right now. Do you notice Tobe took his glasses off? Because he saw that drawing of himself. That's him. Okay. Anyway. He's lost a lot of weight, too. He's skinny now. All right, let's go back.
We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will.
Okay. That's another statement that's puzzled me. He says, you want to know what we know. Well, if he's a killer, he knows what you know. Unless he's talking about you want to know if I know if you know that I know, all that junk. Like if he, I don't know if he's saying you want to know if we know who you are. And one day you will, like we're going to arrest you. But to say you want to know what we know, well, if he killed the girls, he knows what you know. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
A question to you. What will those closest to you think of? They find out that you brutally murdered 2 little girls. 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing.
Okay. This is, I know what they're doing here because I've watched this a bunch of times and I figured, at least this is my opinion, what they're doing. So he mentions power. It's all about power. So they're profiling this guy as somebody who kills for power and it makes him feel like invincible, whatever. It gives him a high. Then he calls the guy a coward. He's taunting him. Because if they believe this guy is all about power, calling him a coward is like the lowest thing you can call him. That's worse to him than a child murderer or a child rapist or whatever. That's worse to the killer than calling him a coward's worse. So they're taunting the guy.
We are confident that you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least, they know.
Let me see what he says right here.
Because of how different you are since the murders.
So I think this is what I think. I think that I think they knew who it was, but they had an alibi, this person that they think it is, or they know it is. And so they're thinking to get that alibi, he had to have somebody lie for him. That's what I'm thinking he's talking about right here. So I'm thinking, okay, they had this guy, they've talked to him, they've interviewed him or whatever, but he came up with an alibi. And to get that alibi, he had to have somebody lie to him. So he had to tell somebody, or at least they had to get suspicious. And I think that's what he's saying right here. He's overacting a little bit, in my opinion. I mean, I understand it's 2 girls, but my goodness, man, he's really selling it.
We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack. And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left.
Okay. the reason I think he's saying this about the shack is because this is like a religious type of movie. And I've heard things about there was religious overtones at the crime scene. I don't know that as a fact. That's why I'm telling you I've heard it. I've heard that during my research. I've uncovered somebody saying that. It's not proven or anything. But he talks about the shack. If you don't know what that is, I haven't seen the movie and I haven't read the book, but I studied on it when I watched this. And it's about a guy who loses his daughter, gets abducted, and she gets killed by this guy named Little Lady Killer or something. Then he goes to this shack and he's visited by three beings who are supposed to represent the Holy Trinity. So that's why he's bringing this up. And plus he's talking about conscience. So the reason I believe he's bringing this up, I believe this person that he's talking to has some sort of religious background. He may even be a pastor of some sort. He grew up in a religious environment. And yeah, so I think that's why he's bringing this stuff up. He'll say some more about this, I think.
And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not what they're experiencing today. To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that when I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions. I know that. Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please be patient with us, please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
Okay. I mean, they go on and play the video and stuff. I mean, but if you haven't seen it by now, just go and Google it. So, yeah, they said a lot of things in there. I'm watching the comments over here, and there is a lot of you who are on totally opposite ends of the spectrum here as far as like, I didn't mean to stir up anything about that cop. I'm sure he's a good guy. It just seemed like he was, usually his name's Doug Carter, by the way. Usually they're a little bit more absent of emotion in these situations, but I get it. It's two children, and they're frustrated. And I think it was Shelby. Shelby's said something. What was it? She said, you said something to Shelby that maybe, I think you or somebody said that the guy's right in front of him in their room, probably, and that's probably, he's really frustrated. I think that's what you said. But anyway, that may be the case. I don't know why it's taken them so long to solve this. You don't always get somebody recorded talking, walking in you see the guy, you hear the guy. It's a small place. I mean, it's super small. When Tyson and I went there, I couldn't believe how small it was, to be honest with you. I expected it to be a little bit bigger than that. Yeah. I got curious and I started I started searching for pictures of the room during that press conference. I mean, there's a few, and I just like went through all of them and really close. And I really wanted to see if I could find a certain guy that is a person of interest in my mind. But you can find these, and I didn't find the guy I was looking for. But interesting enough, there's one guy that came up. Somebody mentioned in the comments. It came up early in the investigation. I'm trying to, unless they've already been talked to by the cops, I'm trying not to throw names out there if I don't have any proof of anything. But when I give you my profile, and I will do that here in just a second, and I'm going to disclaim this because I am no kind of expert. I'm not Mike King, or I'm not nobody as far as profiling people. I just like to gather information, and I like seeing what I can gather from different like press conferences like that, different interviews, different subjects, different things I read, and I just like putting it all together. It's kind of like a big puzzle. So this is what I'm just gonna run down a few things what I think is. And some of these are going to be obvious because I mean we see the guy, so and we know it. Okay, first of all, we know it's a man, right? We know it's more than likely a white male because the picture, and plus, I mean, I know you don't like to say people sound a certain race when you hear them talk, but I mean, it's true in a lot of cases. So this is a male, Caucasian. I don't think that second sketch, or I think that look makes him look a lot younger than he probably really is. I think he's between 35 and 45, probably closer to late 30s, early 40s. He may look a little bit younger. I think he's between 5'8" and 5'11". I think he probably looks like he weighs more than he actually does because he's kind of soft around the midsection, I think. So, but him being short, he probably weighs between 180 and 200. I'm like describing myself over here. I'm not the guy. Anyway, I think that he works close with kids in some way. I think he's either a school teacher, a Boy Scout leader, a pastor, something like that. And I think that he was, like I said during that video, I think if I agree with Doug Carter, if he's saying that stuff because of religion, I agree with that. I think he was raised in a religious family, but I also think, or in a religious environment, I should say, but I also think that there was some abuse in his life at one point or another, either physical, sexual, something that made him feel powerless. He felt like he had no power whatsoever. And he felt like when he started getting older, I think he got angry. He needed to feel powerful. He needed to get some of that back somehow. I also think he got really into pornography, probably some really sadistic stuff, probably some stuff that underage stuff, probably. I think he's possibly an outdoorsman of some type, like a hunter or something like that. I don't know exactly how they were killed, but from things I've heard, it was because of gashes to their necks, cut their jugulars or something. And I'm not trying to get too graphic here, but I also think that he changed his appearance after these murders. I think that after that he knew that his picture was out there. I think he did something to change his appearance. He grew a beard, or he combed his hair a different way, or he wore different kinds of clothes. I think his behavior changed also, because I don't. If he's never been I saw some comments about this, and I'm trying not to read the comments because I get distracted, and I will read them after this. But I don't think he's been in the system as far as breaking the law before. I mean, being caught for breaking the law before. But I also don't think this is his first time doing something like this, because, like I said, Kelsey said, and I agreed with her. Kelsey is Liberty German's sister, and I interviewed her on a few episodes back, and she said that she didn't think it was his first time, and I don't either. And there was a press conference and I think it was a press conference somewhere, there was an interview. One of those police officers said that we would be really surprised when we find out who it was, because like that guy's, like Doug Carter said, he's hiding in plain sight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. I mean, that's all I can remember. And so when I see a suspect come up, I go through this list that I just told you, and I see how many boxes are checked off. So let's say I have a guy in mind, and this guy that I have in mind, I'm not going to name any names right now. I don't want to mess anybody's life up when I have no proof of something. And I know all of you are probably saying, well, you talked about Barry. Well, that's a little bit different. Barry comes out and says stupid stuff, and he does stupid stuff, and he's obviously a suspect in his wife's disappearance. So I am going to comment on that, but I'm not going to comment on somebody that I don't know if they're involved or not. So I am going to tell you how many boxes I'm checking on this person. So age, check. Race, check. Gender or sex, check. I don't know this person's height. I don't know this person's weight. Judging from photos I've seen and him standing next to certain people, I would say he's between 5'8" and 5'11". I'm going to have to say a maybe on that one. Weight's probably a check, but I don't know. Professions that I mentioned, he definitely falls in there. And as far as the other ones, I have no clue, except for I do know that this person likes the outdoors. There's actually a picture of him on the Moline High Bridge, actually. So, and another one out in the woods. I do believe this person that I'm talking about, that I suspect may be involved somehow. I believe that I've heard he participated in the search. I want to say something, but if I do, it's going to give it away. And unless y'all don't unless you just don't care to go do research. But yeah, I'm going to hold on to that one because it'll give too much away. But I do know he was at one of those press conferences. Let's just put it that way. It might have been too much right there, but that's all I'll say about it. I do know that the person I'm thinking of was at one of the press conferences for sure. So that's what I have. I mean, all the ideas could change. I don't think that if you're following this case really close, you probably already know who I'm talking about. And if you follow it real close, you probably know who I'm talking about from looking at that thumbnail that I put up. But anyway, there's a couple of pictures. So I wanted to share with you. I'd never seen this part before, but apparently and I could be wrong about this, I don't know, but from what it said on the internet, this is the place where he said go down the hill. This is where they had to go down, right here. And I'd never seen that picture before. So here's this guy, right? I've always thought this guy was wearing a hat, and he probably is, or a hood or something. But I got to looking at that hair. I mean, and looking at it as hair, because I've seen somebody with hair like that before. So if you take this picture, and I said that this guy probably changed his hairstyle and then grew a beard or something. I changed the picture a little bit. So, and I made him a little bit heavier too. So some of y'all probably know who I'm talking about, and I tried to call this person tonight. I got their voicemail. I left a message and I left a number for them to call me back. It would be a miracle if this person calls me back, but you never know until you try. And I would like to hear back from him. He's probably not listening to this, probably has no idea who I am. But if you do, I would be fair to you if you wanted to talk to me. So, all right, I'm going to go to the comments. I want to see what you guys think. Google mayor of Delphi. I think he's meant of Delphi. So, I know there was a judge that they were looking at for a while. He was in some trouble. He had to resign. He was doing some things he shouldn't have been doing. Glam Dolly, you're really fired up about this case, Glam Dolly. You've been posting these angry things the whole time that we've been on here. The killer is instantly recognizable to someone who knows him, as is his voice. Police should appeal to the people who are protecting him. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's Barry either, to be honest with you. I mean, there's been a stranger, or there's been. It wouldn't be out of the realm of how 2020 went and all that, but I don't believe that's him. So, all right. So, is there a video of his voice to compare? Not yet. There probably will be soon. I totally agree, Kimberly. It makes me really angry too. So, one of the things about Delphi, Indiana, is it feels like when you're there, and especially when you're near the area, it feels like there's this huge, heavy cloud or spirit hanging over that place. And it's really palpable. You can feel it. It's not fun. Tyson went across that bridge, and there was no way I was going across it. Nope. I fell off of a curb. I'm not going to go on a bridge that's 70 feet in the air. But anyway, he goes off across the bridge and filming way over there. So instead of just sitting there, I wasn't thinking. I started walking around in the woods right there, and it was freaky. I'll tell you that. It's not. Yeah. Yeah, he did. I agree. It is. It's research, but you have to have a little bit of luck, Shelby, because it's. I get plenty of wrong numbers too. Like, it's not always. You don't always get that lucky that somebody leaves their name on their voicemail to know that you got the right number. So, all right, Glam Dolly, you got a lot to say, and I appreciate it. I feel the police investigation has been mishandled. He's not known to police or related to them, nor is he suspected by police. Sadly, they are utterly clueless. Yeah, that could be the case, but I also think that they could know, but they just don't have enough to get him on, or he's got an alibi that, somebody's given for him. I don't know. So, yeah, because fun. Hey, what's up? I don't know who you are, but thanks for being here. It just surprised me that if you're a male, because really it says 99.7% of my subscribers are female. So, yeah. So it says, yeah, I think people from that church were one of the first people in the search. I do know that if you're talking about the Delphi United Methodist Church, that's where they had the first press conference. So, yeah, it's kind of, there's a tie there for some reason. Yeah. I see people mentioning the guy I'm talking about. So, I mean, yeah. There you go. Do that. Hello, Mister. So I'm trying to go back and see what y'all are posting here. I don't know if they did. I'm pretty sure that I do know this. There's a lot of interesting connections to the Delphi United Methodist Church. And I'll tell you the ones I know. The ones I know are when I mentioned that the Delphi United Methodist Church was a location of the first press conference. It was also the location of Libby's funeral. I don't know if she went to church there on a regular basis or anything, but I do know that that her funeral was held there. So I believe Abby's funeral was not at a church, I don't think, if I'm remembering that right. So anyway, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of this. Okay, I have seen that name, Shelby. I haven't researched it probably like I should have, but I have seen it. So yes, I have seen it. So there was another interesting thing that happened. There was somebody came out and they were trying to say that they had inside information about somebody's blowing up my phone. What's going on? Okay, never mind. I thought my mic went out or something, so I had to check it. But anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah. There was somebody was posting some stuff on Facebook and on Reddit recently, and their name was Lee, Leigh, Kerr, Kerr. So leaker is what they were trying to say. It was a fake account, obviously, but they were supposedly leaking inside information, and so they were. This leaker was talking, and all of a sudden, this other account jumps in and starts answering for her or him or whatever, and then that just disappears. So everybody was like, "That must have been the person's real account." And they accidentally answered on the wrong one while they were sitting there. And I thought, yeah, that's probably exactly what happened. Well, come to find out, the person that was doing that was a pastor from another church. So I don't know what his tie is to this, but that was really weird that happened like that. Well, then this leaker person went on Reddit and did a Q&A, and there was a lot of stuff that this person was talking about. Some of it seemed unrealistic, but some of it seemed to fit into what I was thinking. So I don't really know who this is, but I want to check it out. I mean, I know a little bit. I don't know enough to say I know who it is. The press conference I showed, that was in April. It was on April 22nd, 2019. It was over 2 years after the girls were killed. Here, I'm going to show you the rest of it real quick.
I just unveiled the person that we believe responsible for the murder of these two little girls. So I invite media to take a look at that now. It's not up. Kim. We're also going to show you a video not previously released that Superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. It's only a slight change in it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready. Stand by for the video, please. There is no sound of the video.
Golly. That wasn't me. That was those guys.
As Superintendent Carter mentioned, he is on the railway bridge. You have to take different steps to get to it. This information later this afternoon will be on the State Police website. For the community that's here, we have 100 copies of the news release. If you put in that URL, you'll be able to get to that site to play it. And we also have that same release for you in the media. And the rest of the state will get that release in about 15 minutes. So we appreciate those of you that came here. This concludes our announcement. Thank you for your time, patience, and courtesy.
Yeah, they got to have a lot of patience. They got to be getting frustrated. The family, plus the people at Delphi. I mean, good grief. You got the guy on video. You got the guy, an audio of the guy saying things. I mean, I keep hearing that they have DNA and, or touch DNA. I don't even know what that is, but apparently, I mean, that could be from anybody. Like anybody that lives with these girls or whatever. But I mean, you got a lot of evidence that you don't have in a case like this. Even the former district attorney, what was that guy's name? I forgot his name. But anyway, he came out and was talking about this case, and he was saying he thought it was going to be a slam dunk, be done. He doesn't work there anymore, but. And I noticed somebody said there were some signatures at the crime scene. That DA is the one I heard that from. He said there was some there. He couldn't talk about what they were. Heather Marie, I always wondered how you get control over two girls. I wondered if maybe they knew him. One of the things I heard, which could be absolutely false, is that he acted like he was some sort of law enforcement and told them they were trespassing or something and told them to go down the hill and whatever. I don't know if that's true, but if you, I don't think it's as hard as you think to get control over people if you act like some kind of authority figure, especially with kids, because what are they taught to do? They're taught to obey their elders and obey their people in authority. So, it probably, if they get scared enough, I don't know. If you're talking about some, I've probably watched a lot of videos already. So if that's what if you're talking about somebody that's being mentioned in here, yeah, and he could have had a weapon. That's true. So what I think, what he explained the signatures were they were things left at the scene or things that were done at the scene that would tie, that were unusual, that would tie them to this person. I've seen some places where they say he might have done it to make it look like signatures and it really wasn't, to throw people off or something. I don't know. But if I can find I know I could find it, but I mean, I could find it and post it. That district attorney from Delphi that talked about this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Maybe I could play it. But he talks about the crime scene being real unusual. He doesn't go into detail, but so if you go listen to the Down the Hill, the Delphi Murders podcast, it's done by Headline News. Chapter 5 is titled Signatures. It's about 34 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it here, but go listen to that, and it'll have the guy talking about it, I believe. There's shorter ones if you want to look. I wish I remembered his name. I wanted to say Ives, but I don't know if that's right. I'm trying to search real quick. Robert Ives. Hey, I was right. Yeah, he's the one that talks about him. It says transcript right here. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. All right, so let me look at it real quick, and I'll. Okay, he said, all I can say about the situation with Abby and Libby is that there was a lot more physical evidence than at that crime scene. And it's probably not what you would imagine or what people think that I'm talking about. It's probably not. And so because of unique circumstances, which all unique circumstances, excuse me, of a crime are a sort of signature, excuse me, well, you think, well, this is unusual. This is unusual fact might lead to somebody, or that unusual fact might lead to somebody. I wish I could tell you, but again, that's up to the state police. There was nothing that seemed similarly identical that you think, well, this is modus operandi. I don't know if you're familiar with the term modus operandi, where sometimes criminals will commit a crime in such a way where it's so distinct that it acts as a sort of signature for them. The person interviewing asked him, was there a signature in his crime? Like, would you characterize something as a signature, like without telling us what it is? And Robert Ives says, I would say there were 2 or 3 things. I'd say at least 3. So he's not going to tell you what it is, but there's at least 3 things there, he said, that would count as signatures. So he kind of explained what it was, but made it about as clear as mud. So, all right, let's go back to this. There was a private text chat last year between supposed insiders discussing the crime scene. Yeah, I saw that. Supposedly it was the guy that, the searcher that found him. So he was, hold on a second, I gotta get a drink. My throat was getting dry. So there was a searcher and Kelsey talked about this a little bit. So when the girls were found, there was a guy looking through his camera and he saw 2 deer. And when he looked down from the deer, the girls were laying there. Their bodies were there. And so lost my train of thought there for a minute. But anyway, so when they saw their bodies laying there, they were about 50 feet from the bank of the Deer Creek. And they called out on the radio that they had found Libby's shoe, and they were asking to describe it. And Kelsey yelled, or Kelsey, I keep calling her Chelsea, I'm sorry. Kelsey yelled out what her shoe looked like, and they confirmed that was her shoe. So, and then shortly after that, Kelsey, they said they found the bodies, and Kelsey heard them. So she tried to go over there, and this lady that was helping her search grabbed her and wouldn't let her go over there. For good, I'm really glad that she didn't go over there. Thank goodness. So anyway, so let me go back over here to the I'm going to read this. Thanks, Shelby. They for sure know. Imagine how crazy you would go knowing who this guy is and not having what you need to arrest him, and the whole thing is on your shoulders. It's true. Oh, yeah, I was talking about... Sorry, I'm glad that you guys reminded me. I just lost my train of thought there for a minute. I was thinking about all these details of these cases, and it blows my mind, but the texts were from a guy that was searching. But one thing he said in the text was that I believe they were real, but I believe he said something that might not have been true. He said that he saw the autopsy report, which is, I really seriously doubt a guy that was searching saw that, since it's all sealed and everything. But who knows? I mean, I don't know who he knows or whatever, but so I don't know who found her phone. I don't know. I believe it was what I heard, it was away from her. Like it was far, like not far, but I don't think it was on her. No, not yet. I was thinking about doing that. I mean, I have listened to them. Actually, I've listened to both pastors. There was another tie to the this is rumor, okay? So I don't know if this is true. So I'm always going to tell you if they're rumors or not, because I want to bring it up because it might jar somebody's memory or something. But from what I hear, there was a car that was parked close to the Monon High Bridge, and it belonged to another pastor at that church, but he was out of town at the time. The only other person that could have been driving it was this pastor. So, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the only other person that had access to it. So I think some of you know more about this case than I do, but I've really been diving into it. I mean, I'm not too far from Delphi, and I've been wanting to go back and try to interview some people and try to get some more footage and do a few different things there. One crazy idea I had when Tyson and I were there, well, actually, I probably shouldn't say it because I might use it. So I'm going to zip that one up for now. But I thought it was a good idea, but it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll talk about it later because I might go back up there. It's not too far from me. I'm in Kentucky, and then it's Indiana. I mean, it's just north. So So I see you asking me. I haven't had anything jump out at me yet, but you know what I was doing? I was listening for certain words, like I did with Barry. Whenever I did that video of Barry, I found video during Tyson's video of him where he said all those words, but I mean, I haven't heard that yet. So, a link to, oh, they're asking for a link to those videos, I bet, for that guy. I'll just tell you, all you got to do is go to I mentioned the church, just go to that Facebook page. You're going to have trouble finding that. You don't want me to go to Delphi by myself? Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I'm going yet, but yeah, I probably wouldn't go by myself. That's for sure, because it's kind of creepy. Plus, it's always good to have somebody watching your back. So, all right, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow, but I can put together that. I was almost done with it, but put together that video where I tried to call a few people. One of them was a guy from Delphi. One of them was Shoshona. I tried to call Mallory Morphew, but I got the wrong Mallory Morphew. But I did talk to that lady. She was pretty nice, but it wasn't the right one. I thought, man, I hit the jackpot. And you'll see why I said that. And then I tried to call Barry, but the number has been disconnected or is no longer in service. So, hey, see, Gonzo will go. Hey, man, seriously, text me. I want to go up there. All right. If you guys want to meet, we could get a little battalion together. Go up there. Yeah, you know what they did, Glam Dolly? They put a fence in front of the trail, but they put the fence across the trail, but all you got to do is walk right around it. They must have run out of money because they couldn't put a whole fence. Yeah, man, Gonzo, we haven't gone on an adventure. We haven't gone on an adventure together, so let's do it. Thanks. There's a lot of people that don't want to talk to me, though. Hey, I'm gonna have to go check that out. Dark Souls. I might have already seen it because I watch a lot of stuff. I especially listen to a lot of stuff while I'm working, but I don't have as much time to watch things as I do to listen. So I kind of stick with podcasts most of the time. Dark Souls. Is it a channel, Dark Souls? Because I'm getting a bunch of Dark Souls like video game stuff or something. Okay, you might have to send me a link. I can't. This is just like a Dark Souls video game stuff or something. I'm not good at video games. So it says what? Who's claiming to be Bridge Guy? Some guy named Dark Souls? I doubt it. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'll go check that out. It says, when you get a chance, Dusty, can you check out this later? Delphi Bridge Guy, Watch the Eye. It was uploaded today. I'm not sure if this close up of eyes also looks. All right, cool. I'll go check that out. All right. I'm going to look through my stuff real quick because I feel like I had more to talk about, and now I'm feeling like nah. Okay. All right. One other thing I did want to talk about, it wasn't in my notes, but I remembered it, was it's really interesting that there's people that we've been talking about tonight do baptisms in the Deer Creek. And that just seems, I'm not sure if it's right there in that area, but there's not a whole lot of water running through there, at least when we were there. So you could have to go to certain areas of the creek to do baptisms. And if you go look on certain websites, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I don't think it's weird to do baptisms. I'm not anti-baptism, of course, but what I mean is, like, they're doing baptisms after this happened in that area might be a little, and there might have been a significance to something baptism and how it's related to. I mean, this guy might be all messed up. I don't know, or not. This, I'm not pointing at any guy. I'm just saying, whoever killed these girls, he's obviously messed up. But I mean, he might have murder and religion and all that stuff all tangled up, and not. He doesn't know how to separate all that stuff or how to really use it right. So I don't know. I'm going to have to go check out this Dark Soul Delphi guy or whatever you're talking about, because everybody's freaking out. Anyway, so I don't have a whole lot more, but I will keep y'all updated. I'm going to do some more. If I can get some more info, I've got some people looking for me and get some more info on this Morphew stuff. I'm going to do a part 2 of what I posted the other day. I know that was just a podcast or something else, but I wanted to put down, I saw a lot of rumors flying around. I didn't see a whole lot of proof. So I just wanted to give all the information. And what I've been finding is stuff like what I posted, but I'm not saying that means anything. It's just what I'm finding right now. And I want everybody to have all the information. And I also want to just stick to facts and stuff. So anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I'm getting really close to being monetized, where I could do like the super chats, and I could do memberships, and I can do, you have to have like 4,000 watch hours. And last time I checked, it was around 3,000, I think. I mean, I haven't checked in a few days, but I mean, I'm at 1,279 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. I mean, today it's been 28 days since I started this channel. Yep. 3,000 watch hours. I got 1,000 more to go, folks. That's going to be cool to watch that grow. But I'm really excited about this. I'm getting to do the things that I'm reaching out to y'all too, putting polls up, see what you want to see. But I'm seeing this channel not only doing like true crime stuff, but I'm also doing human behavior type stuff. I'm really interested in psychology and the reasoning behind why people do things they do. I'm interested in, mental health type issues, addiction type issue stuff, grief, stuff like that. So I'm reaching out to a lot of people trying to get guests on here. So, and I've had a lot of people return my calls, and I'm trying to set up different things. But if any of you have anyone you want me to reach out to, or somebody or I'm just looking for guests all the time. I'm interested in different kinds of content. So I've also started I put the link in the description. I've started a Patreon page. Right now, I'm not monetized as far as YouTube goes, but if y'all wanted to support me in that way, then you can go to Patreon. The link's in the description, but it's patreon.com/321report. I'm not holding out a can wanting you to put money, but if you feel so inclined, then it'll help me to travel to these places like Delphi or wherever. I know when Tyson and I were doing our things together, almost all of the trips we took were funded by all of you, and we really appreciated that. It made it a lot easier to do this kind of stuff. So I thank you all. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that stuff, share it. We also have a Facebook group starting. I'm trying to get that going. I'm not real keen on being the administrator. I've got one other admin. If any of you are interested in doing that, just let me know and I'll add you. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do the group is because I wanted to. You have to put your email in there. The reason I want your email is so I could send you notifications when I have these things, because it seems like YouTube's not keeping up with all that stuff. A lot of people are telling me they're not getting notifications when I go live or when I put out a video. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm asking for your email. I'm not selling it to nobody or doing nothing crazy. So, all right. Well, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to keep researching this stuff. I'm going to keep posting, keep supporting everything that I'm doing. I appreciate y'all. Almost double what we had last live on a pretty consistent here. I've seen it go up to like 190 something, but that's awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time. Adios.